Hi guys, my name is Ellen from ElinEstelle, and today I'm going to be giving you a room tour of my sewing room. So as some of you may know, I live in New York City and I live in Queens, so I have a pretty good deal on an apartment. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and I currently live here with my partner. So we have 3 bedrooms. We have a master bedroom, an office for himself, and a sewing room for myself, which is almost unheard of in New York City. I am very grateful for that. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I have it organized, where I keep my fabric, how I do my fabric cutting in my apartment, and everything else. So stay tuned. Before I show you my sewing room, I want to show you my dining room. This is where I spend my time cutting out my fabric. Over here, I have my 2 mannequins purchased from the shop company. This table was purchased from IKEA. What I really like about it is that you can extend the length of the table. When it's pulled out, it can hold 2 yards of fabric. Off of the dining room is my sewing room. Just above my sewing desk, I have a pegboard from IKEA. First, I want to show you some things that I have on my pegboard. So with IKEA, I purchased these little cube systems that go on their pegboard and they just slide into the slot right over here. So in this first one, I have labels. I purchased some from McCall's, so I have ones that say McCall's Original Design. I also have ones from Mood that say made with Mood fabrics. I also have some that say my name on it. So I have ElinEstelle Handmade. I purchased these from Etsy from an independent designer. I have labels for Butterick Design. I also have labels from Kylie the Machine, including some of these little ones that I got at Tabitha Sewer's social event last summer. After the event, I purchased some more from her. I have ones that say it has pockets. Yes, I made it. One of a kind. And me made. Here I have snaps. This one holds hook and eyes. I have buttons in this one. And on the top board, this container holds my clips. I use these for fabrics that can't be pinned, like vinyl and leather. The one next to it holds small cuttings of trims. And above them, I have yards of trims. These I purchased from various places like Joann's and Hobby Lobby. Hanging next to them are a couple of patches that I purchased from the Met Museum at the camp exhibit. Here I have rolls of wrapping paper as well as tracing paper. Below that, I have my long rulers. Here are all of my scissors. On the left are my fabric scissors. And on the right are my paper scissors. Next to that, I have several assorted invisible zippers that I purchased from Sill Threads. And behind that, I have my French rulers, used to draw curves when pattern making. Here I have several more packs of labels from Kylie the Machines. It has pockets, me made, one of a kind, and yes, I made it. I have several small assorted scissors. This one's my favorite. I use these to trim my thread. I also have more assorted buttons in here. I keep packs of pins in here as well that I've collected. I like to display several of the pins that I've picked up on my travels. For now, I keep them pinned on my curtain. Here I have my Instax camera, some assorted markers and pens. Here I have some washi tape that I use for my vinyl fabric, as well as a Simplicity keychain. On my table, I keep a Victoria's Secret dog as my pincushion, and I have a McCall's mug and an owl for my pens. I purchased this bulletin board from Amazon, and on it, I have this little sign that my grandma made for me. On my wall is an assortment of McCall's advertisements from their magazine from 1957. This editorial spread is shot in Chicago and features all kinds of patterns from their new collection. I found these pages in a plastic sleeve among other vintage advertisements in a thrift store while I was visiting home. Above it, I have a Simplicity vintage poster. And below, I have a couple of Simplicity pictures from Joann's. And along this wall, I have a vintage Simplicity poster detailing the evolution of the little black dress. And below that is a rack of the most current clothes that I've made. To the left, I have my calendar. This year, it's Barbie. Underneath that, I keep a rolling rack. On the top, I have my threads, my sewing planner from Simplicity, a notebook, and a Fashionary sketchbook. Below that, I have assorted trims. I found this pack of assorted vintage varsity leathers while thrifting. Down here, I have a personalized bag from Stony Clover Lane. I have a couple of Rit dies and some fabric printing test swatches from Contrado and Spoonflower. On my rack, I keep a couple of prints that I've designed from Spoonflower. I also hang any printed patterns here. Next to my door is my dresser full of patterns. I have a few independent designers, but mostly McCall's and Simplicity. I have them organized in here by type. Over here are tops, and on this side are dresses. I also keep them all digitally organized on Trello. Here is my ironing board with my sleeve board, my ham, and below that I have muslin fabric and all of my interfacing. Off to the side is where I keep my scraps. I'm currently working on filling up this pillow with fabric scraps. I made it out of an old dingy sweatshirt. Below my rack, I keep a couple of bins of vintage patterns that I don't have digitally organized. If you follow me on Instagram, you may remember last summer when I was visiting my parents and bought $75 worth of vintage patterns. Guys, I don't know what I got myself into. As some of you may know, I'm visiting my family in Iowa. and I saw a local listing on the Facebook Marketplace for someone who was selling off 4 boxes full of patterns for $75. I was like, there's no way I could pass this up. $75, like, I will take a look, whatever, totally worth it. Oh my god, there's like 1,000 patterns here. Okay, look, so box 1, 2, 3, a few of them I've already shifted through. This is all children's wear, and this giant baby thing full of patterns. Okay guys, so I've tackled the patterns that I found for $75, but I've been cleaning out the basement where we kept all the things that my grandma had in her sewing room when she died. And check this out. All of this is full of old vintage patterns, including this entire drawer set full of patterns, and let's not forget another box full of vintage patterns. I also found a bunch of vintage designer patterns while thrifting, including ones from Oscar de la Renta and Diane von Furstenberg. If you're interested to see the patterns that I have listed, please check out the link to my eBay account. I brought back some of the vintage patterns from my grandma. Some of these were even her mom's. This is the sewing machine I use, a Janome Heavy Duty. I like this one because how easy it is to access the compartment. I keep presser feet and a few bobbins. This is my favorite one with a seam gauge. On the opposite table, I keep my serger. This one I purchased for $50. This one is my Janome computerized machine. And this is my grandma's old serger. I use my Janome particularly for the buttonhole function. Having 2 sergers means that I keep one with black thread and one with white thread. Below the table, I keep 2 bins full of fabrics just for lining. Above my door, I keep even more boxes of fabrics. On the left are printed fabrics, in the middle are vintage fabrics, and on the right are lace fabrics. Which brings me to the master bedroom, where I keep even more fabrics. This was my first sewing machine that my grandparents bought for me. It's also a Janome. This IKEA Calyx system holds a ton of fabrics. And underneath the windowsill, I have even more. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Until next time.